Deborah Meaden, 63, took to Twitter to tell her 628,300 followers that neither of the hopeful candidates for the Prime Minister's role have delivered a satisfactory response when it comes to climate change. The tough-talking Dragon's Den star was less than impressed, describing both politicians' strategies as weak. "The answer on climate change was pretty weak from both of them," she declared after watching one of the pair's televised debates. She added, "They clearly have no idea of the scale." Rishi Sunak has already been slammed for economic illiteracy over the issue. In previous government debates, he consistently voted against policies aimed at minimizing the perils of climate change and global warming. And just before the pandemic began, he dismissed the idea of a proposal to cut almost all transport emissions by 2030. Back in 2016, he chose not to vote in favor of lowering the maximum carbon emissions for new homes. Meanwhile, he even stood against plans for a windfall tax against oil and gas companies. However, he did create incentives for those who installed eco-friendly insulation in their homes, and cut VAT for those who chose to install solar panels on their homes. Plus, he also grabbed attention when his budget statement announced he would like to divert £1 billion to a net zero innovation fund. When asked what members of the public could do in the fight against climate change, Mr. Sunak simply suggested recycling, a technique that many have argued would not go far enough. Meanwhile, Liz Truss was keen to let the world know that she had been an eco-warrior before it was fashionable. "I was a teenage eco-warrior campaigning against damage to the ozone layer," the leadership candidate proudly announced. However, some of her critics believe her policy ideas on the matter have barely progressed since those teenage years. She previously held the position of Environment Secretary, but during that time, she cut subsidies for wind farms and dismissed Michael Gove's ideas for cutting air pollution. Ms. Truss also announced in March that she would allocate more spending to international women's aid and global climate change concerns. Both Mr. Sunak and Ms. Truss have confirmed, however, that they would be committed to delivering on the net zero 2050 targets. Mr. Sunak has also promised the prospect of energy efficiency schemes and development of offshore wind farms. However, Deborah remains unconvinced that either candidate has the means to deliver. When she told the world that the pair had no idea of the scale of the disaster, there were mixed reactions on Twitter. At Horsham Gardner hit back, "Nor do you, Deborah. It's an overblown concept that you think we can change the climate." At Mike Smitham 7 concurred, "Not sure whether lots of you realize but we are an extremely small cog in a rather massive wheel. What we do will have little impact overall." At Nomi Office blasted, "Just show us one tiny iota of proof that this country impoverishing everyone to switch to electric cars, heat boilers and banning log stoves will achieve anything. We'll wait." However, William 436257444 retorted, "Think he'll take my evidence from Sir Patrick Vallance, the Meteorological Office, the IPPC and Sir David Attenborough, amongst others, if you don't mind, rather than your good self." At Jogawi_ also supported Deborah's view, reminding her followers, "Scientists around the world overwhelmingly agree human activity is a massive contributor to climate change."